there, this is Mary Humphrey Coaching. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm talking about a common dilemma. I no longer like my partner, the narcissist, yet I feel guilty. I want to say, first of all, that there's no spiritual, there's nothing religious, there's nothing from God, and there's nothing in any commandment that says that you have to like someone. When you're in the midst of a narcissistic, emotionally draining relationship with another adult, it's healthy to recognize that you're not fond of that person. How can it possibly be healthy? It's healthy because when we recognize that we don't like this person, we set up mental boundaries. We react appropriately and we engage in self-care. So when we're in the midst of emotional narcissistic abuse, we experience a range of emotions, a range of reactions, including, but not limited to, anxiety, depression, anger, and guilt. All of this kind of fogs up our inner mind, and we can lose some clarity as this is going on. So if we recognize our partner's behavior and we don't like it, we don't like this person, we don't like their behavior, it's a step in the right direction to protect your mental health. It protects you from shaming and blaming yourself for things that you should not feel guilty for. And it helps you to take care of yourself. Let's step into looking at God's expectations for love. God commands us to love other people as we do ourselves. And this means we don't hold vengeance against our neighbors. We don't want or cause any harm upon our neighbor, upon the person. We don't rejoice when they fall victim to things. So healthy marriage, as well as any close love relationship, requires a devoted mix of love, a devoted mix of respect. It requires treating each other well in a manner that we want to be treated. It's a mix of forgiveness, empathy, commitment, and selflessness. These are all key factors in building and maintaining a bond in a healthy relationship. We know that manipulation can destroy a relationship. Healthy relationships are destroyed by a partner that has the behaviors of power and control. This is a partner that's always trying to get one leg up. They're always right. They have to have control of the situation, and they have to have control of their victims. Nobody wants to be manipulated. It prevents healthy, open, and honest communication. It destroys trust. It crumbles it. It prevents people from living in peace. Instead, it leaves the partner walking on eggshells. It's a far cry from feeling peace. Nobody wants that. Why do we feel guilt when we no longer like a partner who is a narcissist? Why would that happen? The truth is, how can you like someone who is emotionally not there for you, especially after you've poured your best self into this person? You've poured your heart, you've poured your energy into this person, and this person turns around and invalidates you. They gaslight you, they have no empathy for you or your hurt. So many of us, it's our common beliefs, it's our Christian beliefs, it may be society's beliefs, but we believe that we're supposed to like this person no matter what. So loving a person simply because they are a person created by God is an entirely different concept than liking someone or not because of their character. So today we're going to focus on marriage for a few minutes here. Marriage is hard work. We know this. And marriage involves a lot of forgiveness and a giving heart with no expectations of getting anything in return. Marriage is about loving and respecting our partner. So when we continually devote the best of ourselves to our marriage, only to be torn down emotionally, what do you think happens? We still may love the person, but we may no longer like them. We don't like mistreatment. We shouldn't. We stop liking our partner's character. We don't like who our partner has become. There is no guilt in identifying behavior that isn't up to par. There's nothing wrong in identifying that our partner is no longer spiritually there for us. So how do we combat this guilt? Especially when we're in a barrage of gaslighting, and a common gaslighting term. You should be ashamed of yourself for no longer loving me. You can defend yourself until you're blue in the face with all of your heart. And if you do still love this person, you can reply with, I do love you. Yet the narcissist is going to gaslight you with all of his or her might. You're crazy. Everybody knows you're wrong and you need help. We're shamed, and it takes a lot of internal strength to not let it go to our heads. It takes giant-sized mental strength to hold on to the truth of who we are, to not feel that guilt. So ask yourself, what do I feel guilty for? So I'm going to read to you the definition of guilt as a noun. And this just really can make some sense out of things. As a noun, the definition of guilt is the fact of having committed a specified or implied offense or crime. So if you've committed an offense or you've committed a crime, the guilt that you feel is real. Guilt helps us to obey the law. It helps us to be kind and to treat others well. True and deserved guilt deserves an apology to someone that we have wronged. It follows sequence. You do something wrong, you feel guilty. You apologize, you make amends, and then you let it go. This false guilt that we're feeling, it's hard for us to let it go. But we also have the narcissist that's constantly gaslighting us and reminding us that we should feel guilty. So now that we've looked at the noun guilt, let's look at the verb, false guilt, especially when we are in a narcissistic relationship with someone. I'm going to read this to you. Follows the definition of guilt as a verb, to make someone feel guilty, especially in order to induce them to do something. So the noun is to feel guilty for something that we've done wrong. The verb is someone making us feel guilty because they want us to think that we've done something wrong. How interesting is that? It really does draw the line down the middle of the road. When should we feel guilt? When should we not? And it helps us to combat that guilt when we understand this is the noun, this is the verb, and there's a big difference between the two of those types of guilt. And then when we understand these two definitions of guilt, then we can look at the guilt that we think we're feeling, and we can ask ourselves, are we feeling guilt or are we feeling shame? If you haven't pinpointed that you've done something wrong, go back and think about the noun. You should feel guilty because you've done something wrong and you need to make it right. When you can't pinpoint what have I done wrong, you're probably feeling the verb form of the guilt. Someone is making you feel guilty because they are manipulating, trying to get you to do a certain thing through shaming you and through causing you to feel guilt. They're validating their own behavior. At this point, the narcissist is projecting their guilt upon you. So identifying whether or not we are feeling guilt for something that we've done wrong, it's the first step in combating the feelings of guilt when we're in a narcissistic relationship. And again, ask yourself, what have I done to feel guilty for? Should I feel guilty because I just don't like their behavior? Should I feel guilty because I don't like that the narcissist abuses me and others? Should I feel guilt for doing something that I know was wrong? Should I apologize for something that is outrightly wrong? Should I make amends for it? Should I feel guilty for something that I should be feeling guilt for? Or should I feel guilt because I don't like the way the narcissist treats people, especially me, and especially you? Remember this. Narcissists are really good at shaming. That's their game. You may no longer like them, but you may always love the person as a human being and as a person that you originally loved, perhaps, in your relationship. Even if you do still love them, there is no guilt in no longer liking them. It's a matter of accepting that you don't like them. That feels good. I don't like them. Doesn't that feel good to say that? You can have some hope. It's not likely that they will seek help and that they will say, I'm guilty, I want to make amends, and not say I want to, say I will, and to do, and to change. It's not likely. But know that you have done your best regardless of the choices that the narcissist has made, and there's no guilt in doing your best. I want you to remember to seek help. There's no shame in seeking help. There's no reason to feel guilty because you're going for help. You can join a support group. If you don't need mental health work, go for a life coach. Seek counseling, seek therapy. Whatever you do, just take care of yourself. This is a good thing. It often comes down to this. If you don't take care of yourself, who is going to take care of you for you? It has to be you. Just do it. So now we're going to go into what I call the Women's Prayer Corner. If you're a Christian, and I consider myself a Christian, stick around and listen as we talk about what we can do as Christians. If you're not a Christian, I hope you stick around as well. There may be some helpful advice in this for you too. I want you to remember to pray for your enemy. I know it sounds hard, but yes, pray for their welfare. Pray that whatever is troubling them goes out the door. You may call it an evil spirit. You may call it whatever, a weakness. Whatever you think it is, pray for them. But also, I want you to pray for yourself. Ask for forgiveness for what you might have done wrong. But also ask for wisdom and discernment. That you understand every ounce of your day. You understand where you've really gone wrong and where you haven't. And ask for the wisdom to not apply guilt and shame on yourself for things that you have not done wrong. You know, as humans can be weak. Our emotions can play games with us. And the evil one can whisper lies in our ears. So pray for that wisdom. Pray for that discernment. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 31 through 32. And I'm going to read this to you. But first of all, the commandment is to forgive as the Lord forgave you. Get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ, God, forgave you. We've been forgiven. We just need to forgive others. No, it doesn't mean we accept their behavior. No, it doesn't mean that we like them. No, it doesn't mean that we're still in love with them. But malice is not a part of that, and hate is not a part of that. And there's a reason for that. So the scripture is not a commandment to accept abuse. It speaks of ridding our hearts of bitterness, rage, anger, and malice. We can't love others when our heart is filled with hurt and hate. And you can't take care of others if you don't take care of you. You must love yourself to take care of yourself. You must love yourself in order to follow the path that you were designed to follow. So whatever prevents you from being this person, you have to make it right. There is no guilt in setting boundaries and taking care of yourself so that your walk is loving and Jesus-filled. It's your obligation, it's my obligation to our loving Father. So I hope you're not feeling overwhelmed by guilt today, but if you are, please seek some help. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And if you like this video, please hit like. And sharing is caring. There's a lot. There's people out there that need our help, and maybe sharing of a video will help them through their lives with a narcissist, or will help them understand that they shouldn't be feeling shame and guilt. Have a great day.